So in activity 5, we're getting down to really looking at the structure and the function of the respiratory system. I don't know if we'll have time to get to the lab just because of our crunch on time, but we might. And then basically it's just handing in the tour journal as you complete it. So I'm going to go through the notes part. We may have to drop this. I might do another video later, but I will update you as I release it. So let's have a look. If we go to activity 5, go to the activity and then open it up, we've got this. And if you just right click, you should be able to open up your notes as you go. So again, with your notes, you can click File, click Make a Copy, the entire presentation. Once you have it, move it to your SBI 3C folder. So as you're going through this, I did make these things so that you could, I believe, yeah, I did make it that you can actually drag and drop these. I don't know how effective that is as a use of your time. So if you find that you would like to just grab a screenshot of the labeled image from the content area, that's fine. I'm happy for you to do that as well. However, I did make this for the people who like to have something interactive, and you can just use a line to connect where you think it would go. So decide what's an effective use of your time at this point. If you have missing assignments, I would not recommend spending your time doing something like that. Okay, so the things that you're expected to do. So you would end up labeling the diagram and or grabbing from the content area the picture of the labeled diagram, or there might be pictures of labeled diagrams, I believe. And then what you're going to do is think about a couple of these questions, and you can just answer them down below by inserting a text box or entering into the one that I've already started. So questions, why do you think structures in the nose and the mouth are included? So why would they be considered a part of the respiratory system? So you're breathing in and breathing in of oxygen and breathing out of carbon dioxide. Why would those be included as a part of it? And when you look at the poster, can you figure out how air gets moved into and out of the lungs? So the notes in the activity will describe that a little bit more, but can you do it just by having a look at that picture? After that, there's a video. These are all pulled directly from the content area, and I'll show you how it overlaps. So you're going to watch the video and use the diagram below to complete the notes about the path that air travels to get into the lungs. So you've got your video and you've got your pathway. If you want, you could do something like opening it twice, having the video on one side with your split screen, and open up to the slide where you're putting the pathway on the other side. So I'm not going to waste time waiting for that to, well, there you go. So you'd have this on one side, the video going on the other, and it might make it easier just for entering things online. So you've got your pathway now of, the pathway that air is taking into your lungs. You need to get that into an order. I will probably run a tutorial session to review that for anybody who kind of struggles to get that together. The other thing, what pathway do you think the air follows when it leaves your body? So that's your reflection after you think about these parts. Do you think any parts of the respiratory system are not used when air is leaving? And eventually, oh, I skipped one. Sorry. There's a couple questions about the video that you can answer on here. And then this will be a quicker one. You've only got 3 labels to add on, and then add to your notes to explain the purpose of the pleural membrane and how they work. So how does this overlap with your content area? A lot of what I put on the slideshow is just pulled directly from this content area. So you're going to see the overlaps as you go. So I'm just going to skip a bit through here. You would have already done, the heart, it pulls up. So that's sort of a return to that. You've already identified, or you would identify in your tour journal about your tour guide. This is what I mean by copying or taking a screenshot of this. If you prefer to do that rather than drag and drop, just throw in another slide and add the screenshot. I'm fine with you doing that. So you've got that copy as well. These things here are actually already on your slideshow. So why do you think the structures in the nose and the mouth are included? You already saw those things. So you're just giving an answer to that. And then as you go, there's a video there. And again, you're just going back and forth from the notes, but I put it all together in a slideshow for you guys just to make it a little bit easier so everybody doesn't have to individually create that. So you'll see the cycle of breathing. You might want to go through that while you're doing this part here. And then you've got your think about questions. So anything that's in the slideshow should be pulled directly from over in the content area. Here's where you're talking about the different membranes. And then we get into the idea behind the lab. So we'll see if we get to that part. I'm not sure that we will, just in terms of time. And I liked the blood pressure lab better than I did the lung capacity lab. But if we have time, we may come back to it. But we might leave it for now and then come back to it. So for now, let's assume we're just doing this part of activity 5, and I will keep you posted if we pick up the lung capacity lab.